We are about to embark on an immersive journey through the corridors of our minds. Stand by as we prepare for departure.
Welcome aboard, everyone, to the Productivity with Peace of Mind podcast adventure. Our journey will begin in just a moment. Inhale deeply and exhale. Our voyage takes us on a captivating tour, diving deep into the intricate layers of our thoughts and imagination. Brace yourselves for the complexities of our evolution. For a safe and enjoyable journey, stay seated, secure your helmet and protective goggles, and keep hands, feet, and legs inside while the ride is moving. Now relax and enjoy.
I did something yesterday I haven't done in actually quite a while. I had about 30 minutes before teaching a class, and instead of, grabbing my phone or pulling up another window on the computer and trying to be really busy and productive and squeeze in as much as I could while I waited, I just sat there. I didn't have music going. I wasn't scrolling. I wasn't multitasking. I wasn't trying to optimize my time or be super efficient and productive. I was just sitting. And how that felt was a little bit strange. And I know a lot of times when we talk about like silence and stillness and becoming quiet and slowing down, that we get more productive and we have ahas and all these good things happen. And while that's true, when we're out of practice or when we're not doing it all the time, it can also feel really boring. And I felt so bored. I felt like I started to get really sleepy, like I was going to fall asleep. I felt restless, like I just wanted the time to go by a lot faster. I wanted to grab my phone, scroll. I had the urge to just kind of like fill that gap, fill that space in the silence. And it reminded me just how uncomfortable we can tend to be with empty space when we're not in the habit of having it. We end up filling every single second and moment that we possibly can so that we don't have to hear what comes up, the fears, the worries, all the things going on in our mind. Even when we're driving and we have time in the car, we have constant input, music, podcasts, phone calls, right? Hopefully hands-free. We have all of these things going on. We go for a walk and we're listening to music. While we eat, we're scrolling Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform you're using, right? Maybe it's even the news. We're scrolling something. Multitasking while we're working, whether it's at work or at home or personal projects, we're jumping from thing to thing to thing, never really slowing down. Or think about like standing in line somewhere, like at the post office. I feel like every time I go to the post office, there's a super long line. And what do we want to do? We want to sit on our phone and scroll and distract and numb and do all things. Sometimes it's good, you can get things done. But when we're constantly consuming noise and content and stimulation for our brain, we get used to all that input, and then silence almost feels wrong in some way. And it's almost like we have this fear of if I slow down or if I stop for even a second or if I do nothing for even a moment, I'll fall behind, I'll miss out on something good. Maybe I won't be enough. Maybe I'm not doing enough, right? All those fears come up and we feel guilty for resting when we don't even allow ourselves to actually rest. Think about a break at work. Do we just sit there and just breathe and sit with our body and just notice what's going on in our mind and body? No, we're usually looking at our cell phone trying to get something else done or take care of something else. But when our brain is getting just hit from every direction with information, noise, messages, requests, ideas, right? This constant stimulation, we get really, really foggy in the brain. We get overstimulated. We're emotionally exhausted, right? Because we're taking in all this from other people too. We have a hard time focusing. Maybe we start making mistakes. Maybe we shut down. Maybe we start overthinking right? I know I'm hugely guilty of that, overthinking, wasting time and energy just mulling something over and over and over again when it's not necessary. Maybe we struggle to prioritize what's actually important. I know I hear it all the time. What do I actually focus on? What do I actually spend my time on? I don't even know what to be working on. And then instead of slowing down, we just consume more and more and more and more and get more and more and more confused. But an overloaded mind or taking on so much doesn't mean or equal functioning really well or doing a really good job. Sometimes the most productive thing we can do is create that quiet, is to create that silence for our mind. So our mind and our nervous system and our body can all catch up to what's happening right here, right now. And it's not about being lazy. It's about giving our nervous system that room to breathe so we can function better, so we can feel better. I'm talking about just sitting there for a few minutes, driving somewhere, maybe a short drive to start, without the radio or a podcast or music or anyone else's voice in your ear. Taking a walk alone in the silence, in the quiet, sitting outside, the coffee, no phone, just looking at the world around you, taking it all in. Maybe even laying on the floor and breathing. I love a good shavasana. Just laying in yoga, it's also called corpse pose. It's just literally laying on your back, arms out loosely, feet spread apart a little bit, just fully relaxed, sinking into the earth, breathing, allowing whatever it is coming up for you in that moment. And sometimes you might even journal or write on scratch paper what's coming up for you in that quiet. Maybe there are thoughts jumping in and out of your mind, and to find the other side of that and find the quiet on the other side of that, you want to get it out on paper and let it go. Maybe if you're somewhere waiting, you look out the window instead of immediately consuming content or jumping into what else can I cram in. This idea I'm talking about of practicing doing nothing on purpose has no right or wrong way to do this. The point is to practice not immediately jumping to escape from the presence every moment you can, or every moment it gets quiet. It's not about forcing any aha moment or insight or clarity that's going to come. And it will, but we're not forcing it. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes practice. And you might feel peace right away, or you might feel bored like I did yesterday, or you might just feel an exhaustion come over you. Maybe you've been running so fast that when you finally stop to slow down, you feel the world catch up with you, and that feels heavy. It makes you tired. Maybe emotions or thoughts or fears or worries come up. Maybe a creative idea pops up in your mind. Maybe it's grief, maybe it's clarity, or maybe it's absolutely nothing, and that's okay. I can't say it enough, there is no right or wrong way to do this. Sometimes just nothing happening is part of the practice, and it leaks into every other part of your life. Many years ago, I was in the process of making a big, big decision in my life, which was about getting a divorce. And it was in the fall time, so it was quite cold. I was in Minnesota visiting family, and they have these woods behind their home. And there used to be this old playhouse in the middle of the woods. So I got all bundled up, took nothing but a paper and pen with me, and a lot of layers. It was cold. And I took the trek out through the woods, through the back country, climbed up that little old treehouse, and just sat. There were no distractions. There was nobody telling me what I needed to do or what my decision should be. There was no noise, no advice, no music, no anything, no cell phone, no time. I didn't even know what time it was. At the end of it, I did end up spending about 3 hours out there, but I had no idea in the midst of it. Like, there was no time, it didn't exist. And I just sat, and it was quiet, and it was difficult, and it was uncomfortable. But I needed to shut out the noise. I needed to shut out the world because it was a big decision I never thought I'd have to make. And yet there I was deciding stay or divorce. As thoughts came to my mind and as I had ideas and different ahas and things like that, I would jot it down on paper. Sometimes I would just jot down one sentence, and sometimes there'd be this sudden flow of just thoughts and, like a brain dump or a thought download that I would just pour onto the paper. There ended up being tons and tons of pages over that 3 hours with all of my thoughts. But between that, I was just sitting. I'd get it out, let it go. It's out of my brain, brain to paper, and then sit and wait and listen and feel. And in that situation, clarity came for me when the noise finally stopped. I was talking to everybody I knew, mentors, family, friends, therapists, coaches, you name it. But I needed to hear my voice. I needed to listen to me and hear me again, hear my own voice again. There has to be time where we allow thoughts to settle, truths to surface up to the top, bubble up to the surface, allow our emotions to catch up, our intuition to actually grab a microphone so we can hear it and not get drowned out by everything else. And it's not about forcing answers, it's about listening for them, waiting for them, being patient, knowing that they're there. We just have to get quiet enough to hear them. Sometimes it's a process of thinking in the silence and stillness. And sometimes it's about just literally becoming quiet and just listening and just feeling. So you'll know as you practice this skill which one you need to do. And if you've been feeling like there's so much going on in your mind, like there's so much just happening in your emotions and your body and sensations, and just so much stimulation in the world that it affects your ability to focus or feel confident in what you're doing, you're so exhausted but can't really find the time to take a break, that's the time to pause. It's the number one thing I hear people say, well, I'm too busy to try that. I'm too busy to do that, or to slow down, or to take a class, or to work on myself, or work on my goals. But the busier you are, the likely the more you need it. Because I can say that's been true for myself during very busy seasons of my own life. It is not about putting more into us. It is not about doing more. Yes, action can lead to clarity too, but this is a different kind of clarity. This is a different level, a different layer for us. That space is just as important. Not to disappear or avoid anything or abandon our responsibilities, but finding those small little pockets throughout our day, throughout our life, every week, every quarter, every month, where we actually allow our nervous system to let go a little, to unclench a little. Last week's episode was an actual visualization and meditation where we practice letting go, unclenching. If you missed that one, I highly recommend you go back and listen because it was really good. So here's what I want you to practice this week or today or sometime soon. Practice doing nothing on purpose. Drive somewhere without putting anything on the radio or on your phone. Go for a walk somewhere by yourself in the silence. If weather permits, sit outside for a few minutes without your phone. Leave the phone inside. Just see what happens. Notice everything. Find a way to allow your mind to breathe for a moment before we immediately fill it up with everything else going on in the world. play with it. See what happens. See how you feel. Notice what comes up. And as you get better say that again. And as you get better at this practice, you'll notice a more peaceful mind will make better decisions than when it's overloaded and confused and exhausted. And you'll see how stillness doesn't slow down your progress the way your nervous system fears that it will, the way your brain convinces you that it will. And that we don't have to push harder all the time. There is a time to push. There is a time to drive. There is a time to give it your all, but not all the time. Sometimes it's time to get quiet, and your mind deserves that room to breathe too.
Thank you for braving the inside of your mind with me. The better we understand ourselves, the more deeply we understand the world, and as our awareness grows, life just gets better and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a review and share this with anyone else you think could benefit from listening. A quick reminder that the content shared in this podcast is for informational purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, and the discussions here are not a substitute for professional advice. If you're dealing with a specific issue or need personalized guidance, please consult with a qualified professional. Your well-being is important, and this podcast is simply a platform for sharing insights and experiences. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Until next time.